Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Salam and welcome to another episode of our Muharram series. It's been reported that Imam al-Hussein's army, not that we can really call it that because His Eminence had not intended on war, was somewhere around 72 to 300 people, while the army of Umar bin Sa'd was somewhere between 22,000 to 56,000 in number. Whichever statistic we take, it's obvious that the odds were painfully against the Imam and his companions. I sometimes ask myself, what would I have done in that situation if I knew that the people who had made me promises and sent thousands and thousands of letters had now changed their minds and a drunkard tyrant was set on killing me and I had to face an army 10 times bigger than mine? The chances of me doing what Imam al-Hussain did are pretty slim. And upon asking myself more questions, I figured out why. Aside from the fact that the Imam had a divine mission as the wali and responsibility toward the nation as the noble prophet's successor, he also possessed the highest degree of tawakkul and reliance on Allah. So much so that not only did he not see any obstacles, but he considered anything that he'd have to face on the path of pleasing Allah as a victory. For this reason, from the moment he left Mecca, as he stated in the letter to his brother Muhammad Hanafiya, till the final seconds of his life, after his small but loyal army was gone, he expressed his absolute and unfailing reliance on Allah at every stage, and that Allah would suffice him against any adversity or challenge. For instance, on the morning of Ashura, when the enemy began to attack, His Eminence said, "O Allah, You are my confidence during any distress. You are my hope in every hardship, and no matter what befalls me, You are my support and strength." There's so much enlightenment and strength we can extract from this beautiful statement. By pointing out these inspiring truths, the Imam reassures us that so long as we rely on Allah for courage and support, everything is going to be okay. That no matter how rough things get, there is an infinite and most compassionate power that won't let us lose the things that matter the most. Another important aspect we need to reflect upon is that this degree of tawakkul does not happen overnight. It requires years of training, deep contemplation on the transient state of the world and all its means, knowledge regarding the attributes of Allah, and self-refinement for us to stand unfazed against the hurricane. We need to internalize the belief that nothing can happen in this world without Allah's will, and that there is no escaping the Lord's decree. Once we truly understand that, nothing will be able to hinder our courage and determination. If we truly understand that the apparent and material means that we have been accustomed to relying on are just as helpless and contingent as we are, we would no longer turn to them in times of need. If we accept the fact that everything that takes place in the universe is through the will of Allah, whether we like it or not, we will be able to embrace any reality that comes our way. I'll tell you a little secret here. This concept was always a little hard for me to swallow. The idea that things are going to happen to me whether I like it or not, and there is nothing I can do to control the situation. But when I learned that whatever Allah allows me to go through, the good and the bad and everything in between, is for my own growth, and that no matter how much I want what's best for me, there is someone who loves me more than I love myself and is keen on having me succeed and prosper more than I am, it became easier for me to roll with the waves, because I knew that if I put my trust in Him, there is no way that He was going to let me drown. As Imam al-Hussain expressed, "I seek help from You in my state of weakness and rely on You in Your sufficiency." And that's the point, isn't it? To recognize the fact that we are small and helpless before the Almighty, and so is the rest of creation, while Allah, in whose hands are the keys of heaven and earth, is enough. If we accept in our heart that Allah truly wants what's best for us and that our growth and salvation are His top priorities, then we will be able to put our trust in His hands and allow Him to guide us on the path He deems best. Another method that the Imam has taught us to help get through hardships is prayer. A brief look through books and texts that recount the events of Karbala and the journey of the Imam, and we'll see that just like the divine leaders before and after him, His Eminence utilized dua and supplication to aid him with the challenges he had to deal with. Dua acts as a strong connection cord between the servant and the master and creates a bond between them that can safeguard the servant through ups and downs of life. As we mentioned in our previous videos, dua during times of ease is a sign of a patient believer. So imagine how wonderful it would be if we could develop this habit and use supplication and reliance on Allah as coping mechanisms when things get overwhelming. Not only will it bring ease and peace to our heart and help anchor us in the grace and protection of Allah, but it will also increase our iman and reliance on God by strengthening the spirit of Tawheed in our soul. Like and subscribe if you'd like, and peace and blessings be with you.